So I was on a walk and it was super rainy and stormy, and I saw these arbutus trees. You know, they make all these crazy shapes to try and survive. So I started in that moment writing a good chunk of that song, Arbutus.
Gardens all are grey and the dust is white. By the time I stop to think, I forget why I've been on the brink of a backslide. Inside out lies framing all you know.
I'm Eric Chen and you are listening to Inlet Wire, your direct line to BC artists. In this episode, Pinebarren talked about the moment how their latest EP, Arbutus, began, and how their songwriting changed since the last album. So let's wire in.
We consider ourselves like nostalgic but modern indie rock. We're a 5-piece band. So we've got Mike on the vocals and guitar. We've got myself on bass and backing vocals. The rest of the band are Charlie on keys, Paco on sax. Right now we're recruiting for a drummer.
Often I get the band to describe themselves in 3 words, and here's Adam and Mike's take on Pinebarren.
I'd say the first one's reflective. It's reflective in our music, I think, too, and it's just it's another great outlet for us all. Everyone feels super committed and passionate. As always, there's never any shortage of ideas because we're just kind of thinking of music all day long.
I think expansive is a word that comes up a lot as well, because a lot of the sound, especially live, that we have, we like to layer a lot of sounds together to make a really big expansive sound, which is always really cool, especially live. Our music looks back at a time through our influences. So we've got Bruce Springsteen, The War on Drugs, The National, Arctic Monkeys, The Strokes, Interpol, PJ Harvey, all these artists that we really took to growing up, that we've then taken into our own sound and retrospectively have tried to create our own unique sound using those influences. So I guess retrospective is the last word.
Making up for lost time, you can only go by every wasted hour. You let go.
They put out their debut album, Pastime, in 2023, and here's what changed since then.
Lots of changes. We've had 2 members move on, so that's brought in new influences. That's brought in Charlie to the band. Since releasing Pastime, we actually brought Paco into the band full time, so intentionally building that bigger sound with sax being in everything that we do. We've really progressed in terms of our sound to be that more expansive sound as well, because of those different influences and different pieces.
Yeah, and just the way we wrote the music changed a lot. In the first record, because it was the first thing we were doing, we were kind of each bringing ideas that were maybe more fully finished, or they could have been older songs of Adam's or mine, and then we kind of finished it off together. But it was almost a finished thing before. Whereas this record, I think every single one of the songs was a real true collaboration of all 4 of us that played on, 5 of us that played on the record. That felt different. That led to a change in the sound. It was really cool for me. I don't think I had the first idea of any one of the tracks. I was kind of reacting to everything else that was being brought by everybody else. So to put lyrics on, Adam actually wrote lyrics on a couple songs as well. That was, I think, different for me and really exciting, just kind of seeing everybody, the sum of all the parts kind of coming together in a different way.
The waves are always pounding, they rise above the normal. What use is there complaining? I'm drowning in the sorrow. shedding skin to find the power.
The new EP is called Arbutus. It wasn't a random name. There's a story behind it, and Adam tells it here.
So I was on Main Island in BC in 2023, and I just found out that my dad had cancer. And so I was on a walk, and it was super rainy and stormy, and I saw these arbutus trees. They were like winding their way around all the other trees to get to the sunlight. They were, you know, they make all these crazy shapes to try and survive. And I started almost in that moment writing a good chunk of that song Arbutus in the moment. And like so then once I got back to the guys, like I showed them this like early demo, and then we built it from there. But then, like, broadly speaking, when we started to put the rest of the EP together and we started to think about the experiences we had all been going through. So I had been going through stuff with my dad, and everyone had their own personal journeys in that 3 years. We realized that the music that we had created really resonated with the idea of the arbutus tree and being resilient, standing steady during like a storm. And so that's why we went with Arbutus as the name. And I think the record really speaks to that idea of, being resilient through change.
Arbutus, there's just no way around it.
Their single, What You Gave, was the first one that I heard. One catchy number, but it took work to get it right. And here's what happened.
We had a song, a single that we released called What You Gave that really tended to be something that we could see live, like people were really reacting to. It was really upbeat, like it kind of took off for us on our streaming numbers. It was reflective that seemed to be a favorite. So we don't really write super upbeat songs very easily. I feel like it's none of our instincts to do it. So we're trying to make an effort to have a track on the album, like the first track on this record, be something that kicks off with high energy. I think Adam had the bass line, and it was just a really cool little major third bass line. We had that as a really good start. I added a guitar part. Everyone was adding a part that was sounding cool, but there was something about it that was just not hitting right. And as I was producing it kept getting kicked to the back of the line because there was something that was just missing about it. And we continued to work on just trying different things, like shifting the whole rhythm and the whole backbeat and almost making it completely syncopated off time, and then putting it back in, and really just changed a lot of stuff around before, almost 2 years later, we kind of settled on something that just finally kind of felt right. It was a slog. It's not usually like that. It took a long time, and I think we're all pretty happy with it now, and it is something that people are really into live as well. But that's kind of a standout story because it just took so long, and we were being so modular with how we were shifting things around.
Always carry on what you take. I'll never contemplate what you get.
We heard the story of Arbutus from Adam, and it's the song that means the most to him. With Mike, it's something different.
Something on a Sunday, which was our last single from it, our first music video as well. It was really cool to finally have a music video. It came really easily and really unexpected. It was, again, a demo of Adam's, and he just called it something. He called the demo Something on a Sunday because I think he wrote it on a Sunday.
I did, yeah.
And then I wrote that into the lyrics, and we ended up kind of having a really catchy chorus that happened. And I think the lyrics are cool. For me, they're about trying to break out of thought loops and like thinking patterns of feeling that get you stuck, and recognizing those patterns and being able to improve as a human and as a partner and as a band member and all that stuff, and like kind of at the end of it feeling like you're on your way to something, to the next chapter. There's a hopefulness in that I think hits me hard, so I like that one.
And that was Adam and Mike from Pinebarren. I'm Eric Chan, and you've been listening to Inlet Wire, your direct line to BC artists.